So, I mean, it's the first time I do it. I don't know how we're gonna do. It's just it's just a discussion, and if it's crap, then okay, we'll just have. But I think it will be great. I think it will
Yeah,
be great.
yeah, that's great. Yeah,
Okay, so well, for between you and I, thank you so much for everything you're doing, and I mean, you wow, you and yeah, I love the way you make games. You know how to make a good game.
I'm not a games programmer. This is the thing.
Well, you
Not
are, you
not
are,
since I was a kid, anyway.
yeah, but it's exciting. It's like Lamasoft games. You want to
Yeah.
play them. We have zillions of things. Hello, it's François Lionet, and tonight I am with Phil Bell. And welcome to the first edition of We Are Looking for a Name. So I was thinking of Wizard Talk or AOZ Wizards and this kind of thing. So about magical. The aim of this show is to make you discover some of first users of AOZ, and the first one, and he really deserves it, is Philip Bell, and he has been doing an amazing game with a very early version of the product. I don't know how you've done it, and so slaloming between bugs, but you will tell us all that. So I let you present yourself. Who are you? How did you learn computer? What was your first computer? The usual stuff.
Okay, so yeah, my name's Phil Bell. Here in the UK, currently living in Bradford. So it all started back in the day when I was 9 years old. I'm 47 now, so it was, back in 1983. And in my primary school, they wheeled in a BBC Micro,
Wow.
and luckily enough, my teacher used to let me stay in on lunch times and let me type in programs, and that was it. I was hooked from there. And the same year, 1983, my parents went to the shops and bought. I've got a little prop. Bought me this.
Oh, VIC 20. Oh, I love the machine. It's such a great machine. Poke, poke, poke.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my first computer when I was 9 years old.
Wow. Yeah.
Um, and I was hooked. It was just a case of I wasn't so bothered about playing games. All I wanted to do was work out how to make things.
Yeah, so
that
it's much more fun to make games than to play them,
Exactly. I was just hooked on it, and I'd spend hours just typing in typings from magazines. You'd be there for hours typing these 3-page things in and typing, running them and just seeing how they turned out and trying to learn from that really.
Yeah.
Um, and then not long after that, I migrated to my next machine, which is one of these.
Oh, yeah, this is I love this machine. Yes. This is another level. Another level.
So that was my second computer,
And
and then
were you still in basic or in machine language?
yeah,
Did you shoot still in basic?
still in basic. I did actually on the Amstrad buy a book to learn machine code,
Uh-huh.
but I just couldn't do it. I
Huh.
just couldn't get my head around it. It was just beyond me at the time, so
Mhm.
I never really
Well,
progressed into that.
Z80 is much more complicated than 6502 as well, so
Yeah,
it would have
yeah,
been easier on the VIC.
yes,
Mm.
exactly. And then after that, um,
Ta-dam.
this was my next machine.
Yeah, of course. Oh, 12,000 directly. You,
600.
oh, 600. You didn't have a 500, so
No,
you jumped into the Omega train a bit late, haven't you?
I did, yeah. So I went and got myself an Amiga 600, and I needed something to how I wanted to program. So coming from my Amstrad onto that, it wasn't what could I use?
Mm.
And the only thing I could find was Easy Amos,
Yeah. Oh, the easy
the
Amos.
Easy
Yeah,
Amos,
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
So that's the one that I went to my local computer shop and I bought that.
So how
Uh,
old were you at that time when you had the Amiga?
oh, I will have been around 16, 17. So I think
Okay, okay.
I'd just left school,
Oh,
I believe. So
okay.
I think that's the right period, yeah.
You left school for to do what?
Oh, when I left school, I always wanted to be a computer programmer, but I didn't want to go to university. I didn't want
ah
to go down that path. So but I knew I wanted to have a job that involved computers. And there was a job going at a medical company, a manufacturing company that manufactured artificial hip joints and knee joints and that sort of thing, called Depew International,
Okay.
Johnson and Johnson. Um, so I went to go work there, working in the production department, and I was a input clerk.
All
Uh,
right.
so
Just
I was using a computer. So, but what happened in that company after a few years of working there, I was always showing interest. I was working close with the IT department,
Mhm.
and I think they
Oh,
got
you
sort
were
of
the
win.
kind of always lurking around the office
Yeah.
and
So I was always, because they were always writing reports for us and things like that. They had AS400s, and we did a lot of work with them. And one of the particular guys, he sort of got the idea that I'd love to become a trainee programmer within the department. So I had a word with the HR. They sent me to night school for a year, and I did a course in Pascal,
wow.
funnily enough. So I learned Pascal.
Well, it's
Uh,
kind of similar to Basic, isn't it, Pascal?
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Passed my exams, and then I moved jobs from a production planner into a trainee program, and that's how I got
Wow.
into being a programmer in my career.
Wow, that's brilliant. And Johnson, that's why they say they are a family company. It seems to be
Yes,
like a good spirit for a company.
and it's true that company was really like that. It was like a family. Everybody
Uh-huh.
that you worked with.
Cool.
Um, but then not long after that, I moved from there. Um, it was, you know, early 90s, I think it was. But no, probably 95, 96. And I went to go work for a telecoms company.
Hmm.
So they were running premium rate phone lines, competition phone lines, and that sort of stuff. And at the time, a dating phone service.
Okay.
So this is before all this exploded on the internet, dating apps and what have you.
Oh, yeah, no, it was this number that you call, you pay a lot, and you talk with a
Yes,
special lady.
exactly.
Oh,
No,
and
you'd
were you?
actually
No,
no, no, no, it
were
wasn't.
you doing the lady or the man's version?
Well, they did them sort of phone lines as well, but this was so that you could leave an advert for yourself, and people would listen to that. And if they wanted to get in touch with you, they could on the phone. All this was all done on the phone. I could press a button,
Yeah,
send you a voice message, and then you could arrange to meet. So it
yeah.
was dating before online dating came a thing. So I was basically creating a lot of desktop Windows applications. So the language at the time I was using was initially VB5, VB6,
Hmm.
and then Microsoft .NET came around. So at the time I decided not to learn VB.NET, but to go into C#.NET,
Yeah, smart
which
move.
was a good decision.
Smart move. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then from there, I moved from that company to the company that I work for now. I've been there for good 14, 15 years now. And I've been working there all in C Sharp, ASP.NET, doing a lot of JavaScript.NET, JavaScript in there as well, and building their inbound telephony, advanced inbound telephony platform.
Hmm.
So this is a huge inbound telephony platform that handles 4,000 or 5,000 calls every minute.
Wow.
So we architected all the database servers. Everything's geolocated and resilient. So we built all that layer, and then we built a public API on top of it,
Hmm.
which is consumed by our resellers. And there's also an application that allows customers to just design their own telephone
Okay.
services.
Just
Yeah,
another media.
yeah.
Okay, what do you have to show? Show us things, old crap, all things you've made that if you have videos or all
Well,
things
let's
on
have a
VIC
look.
20, just so that we can see. I love doing that.
So let me share.
Share the screen, yes. Ta-dam! Yes. Woo! Haha.
So I know you've already seen this, but
Yeah,
I'll.
kind of.
So these games here were the first two games that I wrote in Amos, And
The first game you wrote in Amos. Wow.
yeah, the first one is the second one actually. So the one that I call Cybernet, this was the first game I ever wrote on the
Wow.
Amiga.
Wow. I mean, you're a quick learner, for the first. How long did it take you to write this game?
Well, it was quite a few weeks. The hardest bit for me for this was designing the levels because I did it all on paper.
Can you put
And
can you share the music?
yeah,
The music
sure,
is
yeah,
cool as well. And you're also a graphic artist, because the graphics are kind of cool.
yeah. I did all these graphics in the
Wow.
Bob editor.
Oh, in the aim of not using
Yeah,
deluxe paints?
no, I did it all in
Wow.
Bob. Each one of these is a tile that I just each pixel by pixel basically, and I drew
Wow.
them all in there.
And do you use any extension on these kind of things
No,
or no pure Amos?
no, and I'm not even using Bob collisions in these. I think what I'm doing on this is I'm checking the color of the pixel of where
Ah,
the player is, and if it's black, um, then it can move, and if it's not black, it doesn't let the player move. I think
well,
that's all I was doing.
why not?
So yeah, and so that was the first game that I
And
did.
did you publish it and was it
Yeah,
published somehow?
I took it to my local computer shop, compiled version, obviously, and asked them if they could release it into. I think it was licenseware. I think it wasn't public domain. It was licenseware they called it, and I think what that meant was that they would get advertised in magazines,
Hmm.
and if I think for £3 or yeah £3 for the disc, and I'd get sent £1 for everyone
Well,
that got
good,
bought.
good.
So
And how much money did you make?
I think for both games it was about £300 or £400. I can't remember exactly.
Hey, good. Yeah, it's at the time the pound was much bigger than more worth than what is today.
Exactly, yes.
Okay.
And then this one was the first game that I did, the second game that I did. So I've got some scrolling text on there. I've
And
got
were you, did you have article in the in some magazines or club newsletter? Because there was a big Amos club in England. I missed all this fun, because I was in France, so
yeah,
there was a big Amos user club.
yeah. I didn't get exposed to any of that. To be fair,
Ah,
I didn't know anybody that programmed computers throughout all this period. I didn't know anybody, and
not
even at
even at
school,
school, even
even,
because you were in
even
your arty school. So, oh yeah, you were
yeah.
alone. Yeah, I know
I was I
someone.
was I was absolutely alone in this. So
Uh,
even when I couldn't ask anybody how to do things, I had to just sit there and work it all out myself.
and they were
So
looking at you as an alien. I'm sure of that.
now back in 2016, I had quite a bit of a break from making games because I was programming in my career. So I sort of left my hobby side of it alone
Hmm.
for quite some time. So I didn't really do anything on the game side of things. And then in 2016, I decided to just see what was going on in the game side and see what you could do. And what I wanted to do was see if I could design a game and publish it, more of a learning exercise really, and publish it on the iPhone, Android, and at the time the Windows phone. So I just wanted to give myself a bit of a challenge to see if I could do that, and I did that in, I guess,
So
Unity.
do you have kids and is it because of the kids, the life takes you and you forget about all that? You just don't have time and this can.
I do have kids.
Yeah.
I've got a 7-year-old son. So
Wow.
it's only recently
He's
that I
seven.
started. Yeah,
Oh,
only recently I've decided to have kids. So I didn't settle down till late on in age.
and how are you going to teach him to program?
I certainly am. Yeah,
Oh, cool.
he's been having a go on my Amstrad. He's written the usual 10 print, Logan 20 go to 10. He's done all that, so he thinks he's a programmer now.
Well, he is.
So this is Unity. Everybody's probably seen this that's wanted to make a game, and it's all written in C sharp. All the scripts are C sharp. Um, and to give you a quick look at what that looks like, not that one.
bedroomdj.tv.
That's something else I'm going to show you.
Oh yeah, it seems awesome. Wow.
So there's music on this as well, and I don't think that audio's coming through, but
Yeah,
there's a
I will
soundtrack
add
on
the
that.
music when I edit.
Yeah.
Wow, it's really cool.
So
Wow.
you can imagine that on the phone.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so this is why you've got the icons for the touch screen.
So does it have a physics engine? Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
all
can't wait to put the physics engine inside of AOZ. Yeah, I just don't have the time, but there will be one. A physics engine as such. They change everything in the game, so really I have to do it. I have to do it.
yeah. But that's what I like about AOZ Studio. You know, when you create a new project, you've got a blank
Yeah.
screen in front of you, and you can
Yeah,
just
yeah.
start typing away. That's what I
Yeah,
love about it.
and in Unity, when you start, you've got this editor with all the prop. Oh, who is this guy? With all the property and everything, it's rather complicated actually. And I don't know. I made a project in Unity last year, and it keeps desynchronizing between Visual Studio in the back and Unity itself. And you press F5, it doesn't start. Oh yeah,
So that
yeah.
was my little return to trying to do a game,
But
and
that's really cool, and I mean, it's the perfect example of what's happening today. A lot of people that tasted the computers when they were young, they suddenly remembering.
yes, exactly,
That's
yeah,
that's amazing, and you can see AOZ is not the only one. You have a lot of new game engine, educational things popping up all around the world, and it's a global trend.
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
really cool.
So that was that. What did I do next after that? Oh, and just before that, back in 2010, we skipped over something because it's not game related, but because I was into DJing at the time,
Okay.
so I did a bit of DJing, and I created this website that basically allowed people to come on and stream a live DJ set,
Okay.
and that's what this is basically.
Yeah, but there is no sound.
Yeah, there's no
So-
there's no sound to show you, but I can send you these links and
yeah, yeah.
you can have a look at that. But yeah, people used to come on here. They used to register for a 1 hour slot on a Friday night,
Wow.
and then they would connect to my server, and then I would stream this screen there. That's where
But
they would be playing live.
streaming in 2010, it was not WebRTC. It was not invented, so it's
No,
real hard work to make on the server side.
so this was before you could go live on YouTube, before you could go
Wow.
live on Facebook.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I basically got a remote server that I paid for every month. I think it was about £100 a month I paid for, and then I built all the server components. And this is just using Windows Media Server. So back in February, I think it was, I was watching old retro YouTube videos, and I came across this guy, Dan Wood,
Oh
and
yeah.
I watched his video. And I think you're actually on here.
He's got such a radio voice. His voice is amazing, and he's a really cool guy, actually.
Yeah. So it was this video that got me to discover what you were doing. So if it weren't for this, I wouldn't have found out. And as soon as I saw all this, I thought, well, I'm going to have to check this out and have a
Oh
look.
yeah, that was in Warsaw at Pixel Party. That's
Yeah.
I can see I was pretty. It was it was all handmade. Lucky, I found the good partners because otherwise it would still be a geek project.
So that's how I found out about what you were doing.
Cool.
And then yeah, I just got downloaded, and the first thing I wanted to do was type in a program.
Yeah.
So I wrote this Grave Robber,
Oh
which,
yeah, this one
which
is very cool.
and I only did this because it was something that I wrote on my Amstrad. So I just wanted to see if I could do it in.
Oh, it was a listing that you
Yeah,
actually. Oh right, all right.
I put it on the forum. I think I did.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Well, it's included in the distribution.
that's right. Yeah. So,
Oh yeah, but this one is very loud.
can you hear that?
Oh yeah, please
Is
put
that
it
is
down.
that too loud?
Each each time I run it for debugging, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, but put it down, put it down.
Let me. Yeah, I'll close that one off. So that's the first listing that I did on in here, and then you've obviously you obviously know that I've done these other ones like the Mayday UFO, so the old Blitz game.
Mayday. Oh yeah, this one, of course. Yes, I love
So
this
this
one. I love this one.
so this was what another game that I made on the Amstrad. So it was just to try and recreate these.
Well,
Nothing
it's, I mean,
spectacular.
you just bought the magazine and then you spend half an hour or 1 hour typing it, and it was all cool fun because you
Yeah,
didn't know exactly what were going to have.
yeah. And I really just enjoyed trying to figure out how it all worked and changing little bits of code and seeing if you could get things to move faster or give
Uh,
yourself extra lives and all that sort of
so
stuff.
is it the exact same code or did you have to change a
No,
few? No.
no, it's not the exact same code.
Okay. But
uh,
you know, it's just a transpiler, so there is no reason why I could not make an Amstrad mode. The
yeah,
Atari mode, the STOS mode that I've promised so long ago will come, but it's
yeah.
all that.
And then we've got the. So after I made that one, I went and made the ASCII man.
Yep. Ah, Skiman,
Uh,
I love this one. Yeah.
so the ASCII version of Pac-Man. It's quite loud. Are you hearing that really loud?
Yes, I'm hearing really loud, but it's okay.
It's okay.
It's the exact same game. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And
So
and actually, I told you that you should leave it, you should keep it because you were planning also to make the graphical version.
that's right.
This one has something special to it.
And what I did with this as well, because I wanted everything to be similar to the actual original game.
Yeah.
So I found this article that basically went through and told you exactly how
All right.
all the game mechanics, the different levels and
Mm-hmm.
the durations of the different game states, and then after that, I decided to try and do something a little bit more adventurous, and I wanted to do something like this. That's what I was looking for.
Wow.
Like the old 1942
Yeah,
game.
yeah, it was a good game that.
So that's what I started working on that, and I had the airplane, and I had it shooting. I put a video in the Discord server
Mm-hmm.
as a little demo, and I think one of the guys came back to me and says, "Oh, I'm doing a vertical shooter." So I said, "Oh, that's fine. I'll change mine to a horizontal." So that's the only reason mine's horizontal at the moment.
Okay.
I think it was Brian who was doing a vertical shooter. So
Well, we haven't
because
seen it, have we?
no, not yet. I'm sure it's in the pipeline.
Well, just turn the monitor so it's a horizontal shoot.
That's it. Yes. But because I'm not really good with graphics, I can muddle
What?
myself.
What?
I can muddle myself. I can get myself through. Um, but I wanted something to look, really, really good
Mm-hmm.
as a demo game for AOZ Studio. I wanted something. So what I did was, first thing I did was I had a look around, see if I could find any good graphics, and I came across this craftpix.net,
Yeah, it's a great site. It's a great site.
and I basically looked through here for some graphics that I could use, and I
All
found a
right, the
single I
graphics
found a single pack.
comes from that. Okay.
Yeah, so I found a game kit on here, and it's this one.
All right.
I think it was only $6 or $7.
Yeah, it's reasonable prices. It's
Not
reasonable.
expensive, and
No.
there's literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different
Okay.
graphics.
How many lines of code?
So if I go to the bottom, where do I?
Wow, so
W-
wow, for basic it's a big program because
Yeah,
in basic you could do a lot of things in the few number of lines. Wow.
yeah. But I tend to lay. I don't tend to put much on the same line. So I don't like to string a load of instructions all along the same line.
Mm,
With colons.
yeah,
I like to be able to read it.
me too, me too. Yeah.
It's just easier to
And
read.
you do a really nice indenting, which is for me it's fundamental to properly indent.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this thing about having your variables being global
Mm.
tripped me up a couple of times. Where within here I've got this for next loop, and I is global. So
Ah,
if I was doing a go sub
yeah,
in here and using I again in a for loop, when it came back here, my I variable was somewhat completely random.
yeah.
So you
So
know,
this brings back memories of your childhood, doesn't
yeah,
it? Because you had the same problems.
yeah. And obviously, if this was a procedure, you
Mm,
wouldn't have that problem. But
no.
yeah, it was just weird getting back into the swing of using GoTo and GoSub because we just don't use them these days.
And
So
you
that
know
was
what I can't wait to have back is 10 liners competition or two
yeah,
lines or one line competition because in AOZ the lines of one line is infinite. So let's make a
yeah.
one line competition.
That'll be
That
interesting.
would be so cool.
Um, so yeah, what else were we talking about there? So yeah, in terms of problems, not really many. There's been a couple of things that I've wanted to do, like stopping a sample from playing.
Yeah,
I think that didn't work in the back in February sort of time. So I just put that on the back burner.
mhm.
The music side of things. But everything else that I'm using in here just works. Um, so I'm not doing any screen scrolling or anything like that. So
So yeah, everything is basically you're not using a transparent screen. It's all
I am using
yeah.
I'm not using transparency,
Okay.
a transparent screen. I'm using the only two screens you've got on screen is the main screen, and then you've got a second screen for overlaying the player
Mhm.
GUI in the top left hand corner.
And also
Uh,
you've done some particle systems and you've done some smoke and for the people who are watching us, AOZ allows to create extension in a very easy way, and I have to make a video and certainly I will make it this week because now I'm back on track after a difficult last week, and all these cool routines will be part of, yes, like that, all that will be part of an extension where you will just do explode or particles, and with a couple of instructions, you will be able to have that in your game.
so
Wow.
that was the explosion particles, and then I also did a smoke effect, didn't I? If I remember. Yep. So I'll just show you this.
Yeah, that's quite nice. Oh, that, yeah.
So this is just randomly
And
generating
if you
different
move it, does
different
it?
type.
If you move,
It does in the game, but in this demo you can't actually move these. But basically, yeah, you can move this XY position of where
yeah,
these are
yeah.
being emitted from, and the rest of it will just carry on going in its current velocity.
There's so many things, and AOZ is a transpiler. So one of the first thing I will do when I have implemented the 3.js as a renderer is a simplified version of the AOZ syntax with the same syntax to make shaders.
Yeah,
So you will program in BASIC and it will output shaders for 3.js and for shaders that will work for everything JavaScript. So
right.
it's gonna be fabulous. And I can't wait
Amazing.
to program shaders. I've never done that. It's so incredibly powerful.
That'd be brilliant. So those are the two real effects that I did. On a side note, I think somebody posted somebody posted this in Discord. I thought I'd try and
Yeah,
work out if I could write that in AOZ Studio as well.
Yeah, it's quite good. Actually, I had an early version and I tried to tweak it, and but I couldn't make it work. It's really good. I wanted to make it wider, and
Yeah,
yeah, wow. But it's a bit of processing time. It's
yeah, it's it's not very fast, but
yeah.
it's just because the amount of pixels it's having to
So
update.
yeah, basically you are over creative.
I'm gonna get through there. What I'll just do as well, I'll just show you an early part of level 4. So some new features in here. I've got this destructible terrain. I can shoot through this. Quite hard.
Well, it's been on 1 hour now. So I think we do you have to say what do you want to do so you're gonna do a Cyball, you're gonna port it, the Amiga version,
Yes, I am,
and
yeah.
are you going to make a Cyball 2, the AOZ version, or
Well, I've not planned on doing that. I don't really know what I'm going to do after this, but you know, something will crop up, and I'll want to try and do something different to this
Mhm.
that uses different parts of the language. You know, using screen scrolling and you know get that side of things. I just want to get this finished. There's 3.5 levels left to do,
Yeah.
uh, and then try and think of a game that's going to, you know, maybe use the screen commands a little bit more,
Yeah, yeah.
so we can
And
test that side of it.
looking at what you can do already with what you have, which is a very little compared to what will be a physics engine,
Yeah,
3D rendering, and also we're gonna work a lot on the professional side. So you will be able to make servers with Node.js, access database, and all this in WebRTC. So you could be
yeah.
able to talk in between players and make multiplayer game. When I was at Friend a couple of years ago, I did a WebRTC based multiplayer system, automatic, in no server. You can be 10 playing at the same time. It connects
Ah,
automatically. So all this will come. All this will come. So I can't wait to see what you're gonna do. Oh,
yeah,
it's
great. I love it. I just love it. So,
let's get professional presenter. So, thank you, Phil, for this amazing presentation. No, it was
no,
fun.
it's been a pleasure talking to you. You
Yeah, me
know,
too, me too.
I only knew you by the name in the book. That's all I knew.
Yeah. Well, lucky I
So
put my
it's
name.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's
That's why you
amazing
should never
to speak to you.
hesitate when you make something to put your name as much as you can. Otherwise, you get forgotten.
Yeah,
If I didn't do that, nothing would have been done. So,
yeah,
and as in Game Coder, we do video with Game Coder. We say, and you're the perfect example of a kid learning everything by himself, step by step, driven by passion and climbing all the stairs. I think you must have had some difficult time and doubts and this kind of things, but you fought. And so the at the end of every show with David, we say believe in you, and that's what you have to do. When you find a passion, you have to stick to it and dig.
it's true. Yeah, just stick to it, and if you enjoy it, you're gonna keep doing it anyway, aren't you? So,
And there's
it,
nothing best that having your work as your passion. And I pity people that haven't got that. We're so lucky. We're so lucky,
Yeah,
you and I.
absolutely. I've never thought it's never been a chore to get up and go to work for me.
Neither do
So
I. Yeah. Yeah,
I've
you
always
arrive
felt
at the office.
lucky. I've
Yeah,
always felt lucky in that respect.
yeah.
My job's a hobby, you know. So
I love your
it's
accent. Me job. Me job.
proper Yorkshire. So yeah, but
Okay,
absolutely, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you and great
me
to meet
too.
you
Me
after all
too.
these years.
So I can't wait to meet you eventually when we can go out and at the Amos party that will happen at the end of this year or next year. I don't know.
Yeah,
Or one of the Amiga party. Of course, we'll be there. So
sounds great.
thank you, Phil. Thank you very much. Have a great evening. See you
You
guys.
too.
See you for the next
Cheers.
episode of
Uh,
the what we haven't found the name. See you.
cheers.